Good morning, everyone. That's right. We're moving on to the next position in our free agency primer. This one's probably the most important position to address of them all. Left tackle. We don't really have one. We have Stone Forsythe, who has played less than 10 career snaps and was a sixth round pick. And yeah. So we need to address left tackle. We got Dwayne Brown leaving in free agency, and bringing him back is a can of worms I don't want to open. He didn't play great in 2021. He played good, but not great, and he's 37 now. It's a mess. Mess I'd rather avoid. So you've got the draft and you've got free agency. The draft is dicey because you don't have a first round pick, and rookie left tackles, they tend to get beat up, even the really good ones. They need to learn stuff. And we don't have time for it. Not at that position like that. So, honestly, if there's one position we desperately need to attack in free agency this year, I think it's left tackle. There are these other positions where we need players. I feel like a rookie can come in and do fine. But left tackle, no. Gotta find a way. So, unfortunately, saying all that, there are not a lot of great guys to pick from in the left tackle free agency class. And a few of the guys who you could pick up, not great fits. So, limited pool to pull from, but I'm going to do my best, and hopefully we can find something workable. All right, so right away, I'm crossing off these top two names. Nate Soldier, about to turn 34, and he's been sucking for the last 4 years in New York, I think. He's been a disaster ever since he went there. No thank you. Cam Robinson, he's good, but is he good? And I don't think he's a good fit for the Waldron offense either. Another guy who probably would be a little bit too slow to keep up. And Cam, he's good enough to where he's going to command some money. I don't want to be the team that gives him that money. He's all right, but he's not what we're looking for. So we're crossing him off, and you can see how short this list is, right? Like, there's not a lot to talk about, unfortunately. I'm going to do the best that I can, but seriously, guys, wave the red flag on this. If we don't get on this left tackle problem quickly, if we don't attack it aggressively, then Russell Wilson's blind side is going to be a massive, massive problem in 2022 in all likelihood. Because you can like Stone Forsythe as much as you want to. I do too. You don't want that guy getting thrown into the fire like that. All right. So the first guy we're going to talk about is the main course, and he's a guy I've mentioned a million times this offseason already. Teron Armstead, about to turn 31, so age is not becoming a crippling issue for him yet. But don't get me wrong, there are some concerning signs here. Teron Armstead, look, he's got the talent, he's got the ability, he's got the agility needed to work well in this offense, I think. But if you're taking a look, this is a guy who has never played a full season. He strung together 4 partially complete seasons, 2017 through 2020, played in at least 10 games all those years, made 3 Pro Bowls, made All-Pro second team in 2018, despite only playing 10 games, but 2021, he missed more than half the season. It's a concern. Injuries are a problem for this guy. He's never really been able to stay healthy. But we got to take some risks here. The options outside of Teron Armstead are very limited. And what you're getting with Teron Armstead is a guy who has been anywhere from good, really good to elite for years now. In 2021, he missed half the season. PFF grade was about 76, only allowed 1 sack, protecting garbage quarterbacks. 2020, played most of the year, 3 sacks allowed, 86.3. This is the kind of stuff Dwayne Brown was doing in his prime a couple years ago. 2019, 80.4, 0 sacks allowed in almost 1,000 snaps. 2018, you go back, I think this was the year he made All-Pro second team, 1 sack allowed in 600 snaps, 90.4. This guy has been one of the best tackles in the game for years. And it's risk versus reward. Yes, it's a risk to bring in a guy who keeps getting injured, but the reward is tremendous. And even if you only get that reward for 12 games and then you've got another 5 games of maybe a generic veteran backup or Stone Forsythe, that might just have to do. That might be better than anything else you can do. And look, I'll say it straight up, it's going to cost money. Spotrac says 4 years, $96 million, so about $24 million a year. I think the injury is going to take him down a little bit because he just missed more than half the season. I don't think this page has been updated to account for that injury. So I'm going to say 4 years, $90 million for Teron Armstead gets it done, and I'm willing to do that. I'm kind of desperate here. We don't have a left tackle. We just don't. We need somebody. If we're going to make this work with Wilson, then you have to go all out to make it work. You can't just sit back and hope it works. 4 years, $90 million for Armstead. It hurts, but I think we got to do it. If you don't, there are some other options. I'm not in love with any of them, but there are other options. On this list, the only guy who I think is a real option is Eric Fisher. He'll be 31 this season. He just played a season with the Colts. He's still good. He's still, I don't know if he's great, but as of the most recent seasons he's played, he's really good. At the very least, if you bring Eric Fisher in, you're probably getting at least what you got from Dwayne Brown in 2021. And that was good. It's not elite, but it's good. And you could get a little bit better than that. Eric Fisher, if you look at his career, he's generally been fairly durable. He missed half the season in 2019. But other than that, he's missed a couple games here and there. He had a long start streak in Kansas City before the injury in 2019. And in 2021, I remember when the Colts signed him, I actually kind of thought that's not going to work out for him because he's starting to develop a little bit of an injury history, but he played 15 games. And as for how he played, PFF gave him a solid 68.2 in 2021. A lot of sacks allowed. I think Carson Wentz may have had something to do with that personally. He had an 80 in 2020, 3 sacks allowed, very, very strong. 2019, 64.5. This was the year he only played half the year. He got hurt. 2018, 4 sacks allowed, 73.4. This is a very solid left tackle, very quality. He's not elite. I don't think he'll ever be elite, but he's certainly good enough. If we brought him in, I would not be too upset about that at all. And that is literally all I like here. In fairness, it's a short list, but we're going to have to get a little creative here. So there are 2 guys who might shake free in the coming months. And the way I see it, if you want to get a veteran left tackle to immediately start for you, and you're hoping that somebody gets cut, it's one of these 2 guys. Okay, the first guy is DJ Humphries of the Cardinals. He's entering the last year of his contract. He is due a cap hit of $19.3 million. And the Cardinals, they don't have money, and Kyler wants an extension. So if they extend Kyler, you might see DJ Humphries be the cut man, because DJ Humphries is only due $4.3 million if cut. So you're saving $15 million if you cut him. That might have to be a necessary sacrifice. There are probably a couple other things they can do, but they can't really convert base to bonus unless they extend him, which they may not be wanting to do. I don't know how they feel about DJ Humphries right now. But he is a pretty credible player. If you look at his, well, first of all, he's played in 16 games the last 3 years, which is strong, made a Pro Bowl. And PFF says that he was good, about 68 in 2021. They actually gave him an incredible 88.3 in 2020, playing over 1,100 snaps. 2019, 64.5, more around the average level, but this guy has shown that he can be a really good tackle. He hasn't consistently been at the top like Teron Armstead, but he has had moments where he's looked like one of the best tackles in the game. The grade they gave him in 2020 is no joke. Like, wow. And if he shakes free, he's an option. The only other guy that I like who might shake free is our former buddy, George Fant. So George Fant is with the Jets. He's due a cap hit of over $11 million in 2022, but he's only due $1 million if he's cut. And the Jets have Mekhi Becton waiting in the wings. So you might see George Fant shake free, And if he does, it would make some sense for him to come back here to try his hand at left tackle. He's about to be 31, so age is not a huge deal yet. Usually left tackles are fine until they're at least 34, so age is not a huge deal. And Fant generally over the last couple years with the Jets has been at least pretty good. He's played the last 2 years. He's played in all but 4 games. Not bad. We know that he has the ability to play well within a Waldron offense because he used to play tight end for us, if you remember. He's got a little bit of mobility to him. And PFF, they gave him a solid grade for 2021, 71.1. Workable, 1 sack allowed. In the previous year, more along the lines of a little above league average, maybe league average. But I think that if you find yourself in a really bad situation at left tackle, George Fant might be the way to go. He'll be decent. I think he's got the physical attributes to do well in the Waldron offense. And at the very least, you buy yourself some time. I don't know exactly what guys like DJ Humphries and George Fant would command if they got released by their teams. DJ Humphries would probably want some serious money. He might want something like, I don't know. I think his current contract gave him, $14.5 million a year. He might want more because he's played well lately. So you might end up having to give him a deal that's around like $18 million a year, 3 years, 54. But left tackles are expensive. And George Fant, he might be looking for something along the lines of 3 years, $30 million. So that would be my guess. I would be at least interested if we did one of those two things. Other than that, you're down to Tyron Smith, who has played 10 games over the last 2 years. So good luck with that. All right, let me know what you guys think down below. That's the best I can do. If there are any other options that you can think of, let me know. I'm out of here. Go Hawks.